Hi everyone, back at Content Marketing Conference with Mike Roberts. Mike's welcome.
Thanks.
Great having you here, and you've been a big sponsor. I'm a big fan of everything you're doing, including Nacho Analytics. Tell us a little bit about Nacho Analytics in a nutshell.
Sure. So you can, Nacho Analytics lets you see other people's analytics, lets you see their analytics inside of Google Analytics. So you can type in a website, we load in a bunch of data, you can see it in real time going in, and we deliver it to you as a Google Analytics account.
Sounds really scary, but really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about how this can help your business.
So one way that it can help is that we all have our own websites, but we don't have a way of knowing, is my conversion rate good? Is my time on site good? Because you really can't compare it against other sites.
Tell us a little bit about how you've used it yourself to gain intelligence and gain data, and how you've been able to put that to work and do greatness.
Sure, so I'm a product guy. So I look at other people's products, and I look to see what their, what's the most successful part of their product. What, how many of their users use this feature versus another feature, and I use that to help me prioritize and build better products.
Do you think individuals should be using this, or teams? And how could the information you're getting be used in multiple ways to help different parts of an organization?
Okay, so the thing is that you can see, it's like you're looking at the QuickBooks for a company, right? You can see their books too. So any project that you have, whether it's a marketing project or a development project, any initiative that you're doing, you look at the best in the industry or the best in the world, and you learn from that. So an example is we wanted to build the best Refer a Friend program for Nacho Analytics, and we didn't look necessarily directly at our competitors. We looked at like Airbnb, who's the best in the world. They drive 8,000 signups every day. We looked at them and we reverse engineered, figured out what makes their Refer a Friend program better than everybody else.
And how did you know to look at Airbnb versus other companies? How did you, and by the way, did you just make that up? We need a new referral program. Oh, I know, let's use Nacho Analytics to harvest data on what other people's, is that sort of how you envision this product being used? And let's go back to that example.
So not just like a spike in the matrix, right? It's an inflection point. Like nothing like it is available or ever has been available. And so I guess I was the first person to realize how we could use our own tool. But you kind of have to know that it exists, and then suddenly you're like, wait, if I had this information, I could make a better decision, and then lo and behold, it's there. You can slice and dice and slice and dice. So the way that I figured out, by the way, that I wanted to look at Airbnb is I just did a Google search for what are the best referral programs in the world, and it's pretty straightforward. There's a list of 70 if you do that.
And did you have time to look at all 70? Just curious.
I probably.
How fast would it be, by the way? So in Nacho Analytics, could you literally just type in the domain name, boom, you're getting all the analytics, and then boom, then what do you have to do? Sort of snake in and find referral links or programs like that. Give us a feel for what it was your intelligent path by which you found that particular data. Yeah,
so you have to let the data build up a little bit. So you're because we give you a Google Analytics account and the data starts loading in basically right then and there, yeah. So I can see the real-time data, but I really want to let it season for I don't know, at least a week or something before I want to start drilling into those reports.
Got it. What about the volume of traffic you need to really use data intelligence the right way? What kind of traffic do you need on a website, in your opinion, to be able to be in a position to slice and dice data?
So the site, the product will work with anywhere in the top 8 million websites, really. But the power of sort of big data in general is, and really some of the best insights can be gleaned not just by looking at the high level picture. It's kind of like if you think of an image, you need a high resolution, you need a lot of pixels in order to be able to zoom in on a small portion of that image, right? It's kind of like enhance, like they do in movies. But if you don't have enough pixels, you really can't enhance. That's all just fake. So so the more data that you have, the better. But again, if you want to look at your competitors and you want to benchmark yourself at like a high level, then that's definitely something that can be done. Takes a little bit more time definitely takes more time to load up to a level of what I would call statistical significance in your numbers, but the product will do it.
SpyFu continues to be go-to for thousands of people. It's a very successful business model. Mm-hmm. Do you think Nacho Analytics can be similar? Do you think it can be bigger? How big do you think this marketplace is for Nacho Analytics?
I mean, we get a lot of the same things with it's almost like deja vu, because when many people don't know, but SpyFu's been around for a long time. We sort of built this whole industry that is like competitive keyword intelligence. There wasn't an SEMrush or an Ahrefs or anything like that back when we launched.
Started, yep.
And so when we launched, we'd get these questions where it was almost like doubters, like you must you must be hacking in to my Google or my AdWords account. People are like, you're hacking in, you can't hack in, you're exposing, you're doing something nefarious, and it's like, no, that's not. And I should say, we're not hacking into anyone's Google Analytics accounts with Nacho Analytics. Yeah. We're not in any way affiliated with Google. Google actually likes me to say that, so I try to say it as often as I can. Yes. We're not sponsored by them anyway. But the point is we're not hacking in. We're just doing some things that are really clever, and actually patented it this time around as opposed to with SpyFu. So.
When we met in 2007 at
Google Dance, yes.
We were sitting across from other quite randomly. Yeah. Could you ever imagined in your life that we would be sitting here today talking about Nacho Analytics that is using Google Analytics to build this business model? It is crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way that it works? So you're an entrepreneur, so am I. We both started successful businesses. But isn't this the way that it works? And what are your thoughts on this particular model in particular? Do you really think this one could be the big one for you?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, SpyFu's huge, but Nacho is kind of like, I mean, you can walk through walls, you can see everything for everybody, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. The presentation that I was able to give today is the first time after that Airbnb one where I've actually been able to personally use it for research, to just figure out a project. Yeah. Because I'm in the trenches building the product, marketing the product. I don't really get to use it to find out really crazy things. And the stuff that you can figure out is it's world changing. I mean, I'm not being hyperbolic. It's a different product that's never existed, and in my mind, it's the end game.
You're a data scientist, so we need to keep this in mind as we hear this.
I'm a data artist.
Well, that's actually a really interesting. I've never heard that before. That does fit now that I think about it in creative ways. But I was going to say the presentation you gave today, which we might release to your fans of Nacho Analytics or the people, your actual presentations. We're videoing everything today, all the sessions.
I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah,
I mean, it was my first run through.
I was there live, and believe me, what I was going to comment on is you actually told a story throughout most of your presentation, which I thought was quite innovative, for both you and was at a very high level. Do you feel like people will have stories they will be able to tell in the hallways of their businesses on what they're discovering, what they're finding? And you've been hard at work for, you put 40 hours into just the presentation alone, and the data you're discovering. But isn't there just this gold mine of things that you expect people to just keep unfolding and discovering with this data, just terabytes and terabytes of data at your fingertips?
A terabyte an hour at least.
Yeah.
So it's that experience is one of the more gratifying things, because it is like that the story of the analysis and the aha moment, and sort of the skepticism and then the overcoming of the skepticism, and then it's like an epic. It has a story arc. It's beautiful. I've experienced it before, trying to find what is it that drives the revenue. You're always trying to figure out, well, what causes churn and what increases acquisition, and finding these needles in a haystack, it's really hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun.
Bring me to the moment in your office when you made a massive discovery. You did a little bit of your dance today. Could you perform that on the stage as we close this out?
I don't know. Okay. I'm sitting at my desk, and I get to this point where I'm like comparing Amazon's click curve thing to like Etsy's, and I realize it dawns on me that I found this thing, and like I began spontaneously emoting bird sounds. It was like, oh, and then everybody comes out and they're all like
concerned? Were they concerned?
They're all like, what the? Well, listen here. My employees are all trained in a weird way to come to bird sounds. Whenever like cawing in my office is a thing, and so yeah, everyone did come around, and they're all like, "What happened?" You know, but it's a really it's like it's nerdgasm-y. It's super weird.
If the fans and your subscribers for Nacho Analytics have a bird moment or whatever moment they have, would you like them to send
I
you
wish
a
for you
video?
to have bird moments, yes. Send me your bird moment video. You should
Will
definitely
you post them all
100%,
on Nacho Analytics on your blog or something?
It is a
bird
really,
moment
it's
has
like,
arrived?
it's a super fun experience when you get to that data aha. It's really exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be celebrating in Nacho Analytics rebirth, which is another story in itself that
yeah.
we'll share for another time tonight. And we've followed your lead with your initial launch party. We have a big Nacho funnel, and we have a Nacho party, and it's at Comedy Marketing Club. So once again,
a nacho waterfall, right? A waterfall of nacho cheese.
it's a cascading waterfall of
Yeah.
nachos
Yes.
to celebrate and commemorate this magical moment.
Awesome.
So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your help and your support, and to all your fans out there that are going to experience something unique and different. Good luck to everybody, and thanks again, Mike.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Right on.